It is now time for our Q&A portion of the talk. If you didn't receive a piece of paper, feel free to raise your hand and our staff can give you a piece of paper to write some questions down. And I will ask the speaker the questions. Please refrain from raising your hands as I will just ask the questions directly. Okay, so a couple of background questions. Who did you grow up with in Tanzania?
Who did I grow up with in Tanzania? Fellow Tanzanians.
I'm sorry?
It will be fellow Tanzanians. Oh, what does that mean?
Who raised you? Who was in your household? Mom, dad, cousins, good. Uncles?
I come from a very large family. A family with a father with 13 kids and 2 wives. Very nice, eh? Okay. I am the second in my mother's household, because there is another mother's household with a single father. And my elder brother is a simple mechanic in our hometown. Next was a pair of twins. These have graduated yesterday for their second degrees. And next to those was a baby girl called Rosie. She's somewhere in Tanzania for her bachelor's degree. Next was another pair of twins. These are somewhere in their secondary education. And the last one, a baby boy, who is now about 40. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Another family-related question: is your family still in Tanzania, or have some of them kind of left the nest as you have?
The only person who is out of Tanzania is me, unfortunately. So the rest are there in Tanzania and struggling with life there.
Next question: did you enjoy growing up in Tanzania? What was your neighborhood like?
That is interesting. Yes, I enjoyed. My childhood was full of personal conflicts because I was a naughty boy, so to speak. Very naughty. Sometimes my daddy kept beating me to bring me back to life. And those are the episodes that I remember the most of my childhood. So, apart from being beaten, I enjoyed life.
Okay, next question. Is there an annual celebration of Tanzania's Independence Day?
Yes, indeed. We do that annually on the 9th of December every year as an Independence Day. And again, we do it on the 12th of January for the Zanzibar Revolution. And they do it again on the 24th of April for the Union celebrations. So we have a number of them.
And what takes part in the celebrations? Is there food or music or entertainment?
No, more so military showcases, military parades and parade, and then national leaders giving speeches of how much have we gone so far in terms of development, challenges to the nation, and related stuff, more of politics than nothing else.
Okay, next question.
Yes.
Korea has one ethnic group, but we have regional conflicts. Can you see this? Do you notice this? And in your thoughts, what can be the solution in order to deal with this?
That's interesting. It is a bit different from what I've been dealing with, the inter-ethnic violence. But the regional conflicts, yes, they have to be dealt with. How? I think it is through diplomacy. I have one quote in mind. I do not remember who gave it, but it says, there is nothing good in war except its ending. So we always have two ways to deal with conflicts, especially the regional conflicts. Either to go to war and the side that wins takes all, the side that loses takes nothing. But during the course of war, nothing is good. Nothing is good, and the only good would be the ending of the war. So if I am asked to give a personal opinion or suggestion, I would go for diplomacy. Let us go down and negotiate on a lasting solution to every conflict. That would be my suggestion to Korea.
Okay. Where do you think Tanzania got its inspiration to remain so stable? Is it just within the people, or were there perhaps other countries that they wanted to role model?
It is a bit confusing, because initially there has been documentation that Tanzania was copying its form of democracy from the eastern side of the world, especially from China. And that's why it went through a period of one-party state politics. But again, during his lifetime, the founding father of the nation, Mwalimu Nyerere, said, and he repeatedly said so in every political rally that he was making, especially in the 80s, that Tanzania has no form of democracy to copy from any part of the world. And a democracy that suits Tanzania best must be developed by Tanzanians in Tanzania. He engineered that vision and made his successors to understand that a democratic system suiting our own society must be developed in Tanzania and only by Tanzanians. For that reason, Tanzanians should sit down and discuss every problem of their own, negotiate what would be the best solution to every problem, and live through that in decades. And I think we have done so. And therefore, what we see in Tanzania as a peaceful nation could largely be explained, in my view, by the efforts of the governing elite in Tanzania.
Okay. In terms of the university level,
Yes.
how could you compare Tanzania's education to Korea's education at the university level, through your experience?
There are more differences than similarities. The Tanzanian education system, especially higher learning system, is much more demanding. I'm talking on a student side. It is demanding. Student is relatively busier. There is very little time for social life, which I dislike. students spend a lot of time either in classes or in the library for an extended assignment or preparing for exams. So my experience is we have a relatively relaxed system here, which gives the student an opportunity to balance affairs, live their own social life, and keep excelling in academics. That is one. But two, needless to mention, we have a sophisticated education system here than in Tanzania. Tanzania is a poor country, and for some reason some kind of research cannot be done in Tanzania because the equipment would not be there. So in either case you would need to modify your research design, your research strategy to be able to search within what is available. But you have that flexibility in Korea. You can do anything because state-of-the-art equipment is there. And accessibility to anything that would give you what you need to design and execute your experiments is within reach. So that's a major difference. Of course, there are many others that while the medium of instruction is English in Tanzania, in here English is not a very stipulated matter of medium of instruction. You need to cope. Of course, it gives challenges to foreign students. You have to be a bit smarter to get to the language and understand things in a two-dimensional way instead of. So you're adding a variable in the question that you have to solve if you have to excel, which is very good to me. I do not know if I have answered the question.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think we have time for one more question. The countries that colonized throughout Africa and especially Tanzania, how do the people of Tanzania view those countries? For example, there perhaps is still bitterness towards Japan from people of Korea, and how would you say that?
That is different.
Yeah.
That is totally different in Tanzania. We took the colonial masters our friends. We had to make them our friends because we intended not to make them furious towards us because they need to take the responsibilities. For them colonizing the country, they are the reason of the underdevelopment of that particular country. And that has to be recognized by the colonial master and take the responsibility to help it out. So instead of making them a declared enemy, we had to involve them and make them very good friends. And that's why Tanzania is part of the Commonwealth, because it was colonized by the Great Britain until its independence. So we cannot be enemies while we're going to the same forum politically. In Korea it's a bit different. Japan is viewed as a very negative partner who had done everything wrong that a Korean would describe. So it's totally different. I would leave it there.
Okay, great. We couldn't get through all the questions, but please feel free to come up to our speaker, Hamisi, at the end. Please, let's all give him one more round of applause. Thank you so much.